This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. We're in Cardiff 2 days out from a grudge match between Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Williams. A lot of people saying this is a 50-50 fight. Do you go along with that?
Yeah, 50-50-ish, I think, definitely. You know, Williams, world title challenger, was on before he fought Andrade, he was in a real good run going into that fight. I wouldn't say most people were picking him. They weren't. Andrade was the favourite, of course he was, but they thought he was going to really shove it up to Andrade. But Andrade's one of those deceptively good fighters. He's not a big name, but you know, everyone's swerving him really because he's such a difficult guy to beat, difficult guy to look good against, and you know, but he's you know, rebuilding, coming back into this fight now against Eubank. You know, it's different. Eubank's orthodox. He's not you know, tricky southpaw like Andrade, and you know, it's I think if Eubank beats Williams, it'll be one of his better wins.
Is it his best win?
Could be, definitely could be. If you look at, you know, obviously he beat James DeGale, but DeGale was shot. You know what I mean? So he's had maybe some bigger names on his record, but if you look at where they were in their career, they weren't in their pump, they weren't in their peak. Where, you know, Williams has just fought for the world title, and going into that, he was on such an amazing run. He really was looking good, and you even hear the stories about him up in Sheffield inspiring and that, how he was really kind of king of the gym type of thing. Yeah. So. Yeah, I think if Eubank wins on Saturday, I think that could be his best win. I seen Williams earlier, and he's full of confidence, and he said he's as ambitious and as hungry as ever. Because I said to him, you know, he's been pro now about 10 years, I guess. So I said, you know, what's the ambition like now? He said, no. He said, I want it more than ever. I want it more than ever. So a lot of people are saying, oh, Eubank to outbox Williams, and Williams look to come forward. But I don't know if I go for that. I don't know that. I'm not sure I go for that. I think Williams might try and outbox Eubank early on. Maybe make Eubank reach for his shot. You know, maybe come forward. He doesn't. Sometimes he can go off balance and that. So I think use feints. Don't become predictable. Doesn't want Eubank reading him. But I think it could be. I think after sort of 8-9 rounds, I think it could be pretty close. I do. It could be. I think it'd be a boxing match up to that point. But then I wouldn't be surprised if at that point, those last sort of that final third of the fight, I think. Eubank will probably jump on Williams then. I think that's when it'll get interesting.
Just picking us back up. Matt was going a bit dark there. We got the light on. So, yeah. So I was saying this to Adam and Johnny actually yesterday. The losers bang in trouble here, aren't they?
Oh, definitely. I think whoever loses here, certainly in terms of their aspirations for fighting for world titles after this, it's a long road back, really. You know, but the winner, certainly, you know, it really puts them up there because I'd imagine, you know, been no boxing really for a while now. We're kind of, this is the first show of the year on Sky. I think there'll be the viewing figures. I think will be massive. It's a fight that's anticipated. You know, Sky Sports News and really got behind it, pushing it out there. You know, Eubank's got that Marmite personality. He's got a big profile, and Williams has sort of tried to stoke the fire a little bit, hasn't he? To create that bit of grudge as well. So look, I think whoever wins here is going to go on and get another shot at the world title. I think whoever loses, it's a long road back.
And Matt, obviously it was a very frustrating January, no boxing on at all in the UK. But this fight here on Saturday kickstart an incredible month of boxing, especially for Sky Sports, I will say, with Eubank Jr. and Williams. Obviously the big one with Khan and Brook on pay-per-view, and then Josh Taylor, Jack Catterall was the first time we'll have two Brits fighting for the undisputed titles. That lands all on Sky Sports in 1 month. Is it one of the best Sky Sports months for boxing you can remember?
I think it probably is. You know, I mean, it's starting the year with a bang, isn't it? And like I say, Saturday night, Eubank Williams, that is a brilliant fight. It's number 1 and number 2 of the. If you look at the middleweight division in the UK, they're number 1 and number 2. Eubank has challenged for a world title. Williams has challenged for a world title. So they're you know, they're up there. They're top operators. There's genuine needle, which adds a bit of spice. And neither guy is over the hill. They're in the pump. Then let's go forward 2 weeks and let's not make no bones. You've got two guys that are over the hill in Kell Brook and Amir Khan, but two top fighters in their day. And but they have massive crossover appeal. That, you know, they have huge profiles. It's a fight that was talked about for years. Again, you talk about needle and genuine bad blood. They don't like each other. The bragging rights. Whoever loses is going to be horrific for the loser. So and the fact that they're both not the fighter they were, it's a level playing field. So I think, you know, from a fan's point of view, it's going to be a great fight. Then for me, the pick of all the fights because of where it is in world boxing and the significance with it being undisputed and both of them undefeated and both of them in their peak, in their primes. Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall, battle of two southpaws, two really good boxers, and yeah, can't wait to get up there to Glasgow and sample the atmosphere that'll be up there.
That'll be an incredible one in Glasgow. Matt, just away from Sky Matters, I'm sure you'd have seen over the weekend the purse bid's conclusion for Fury and Whyte. Obviously, Frank Warren won it at $41 million in conjunction with Top Rank. What was your initial reaction when you saw that?
I thought a big bid, isn't it? You know, everyone talks, so you know, fair play to them. It's great for the boxers. But you know what? It's, you know, some people, you read the comments online saying, "Oh, how that doesn't make sense. That they'll lose money." But when you think about it, I don't think they will. You know, I don't think they'll lose money. If you work out that there's, because I was just doing generic figures in my head, and I was thinking, well, you do 70,000 people at say an average of £200 a ticket.
A million pay-per-view buys. A million
pay-per-view buys. You know, and if you do, I don't know, a couple of 100,000 buys in the US, like sponsorship, I think they'll make money.
Absolutely. There has been a lot of talk recently about Dillian Whyte's silence in this, and I'm not sure if it's just mind games where he doesn't want to engage in a back and forth with Tyson Fury, which seems quite wise, or whether he might potentially not take the fight. Now, I haven't heard anything from Team Whyte about this. I don't know if that's true, but obviously there was a report put out by Keith Idec saying if he doesn't sign by, I believe, the 21st of Feb, the WBC are basically going to rescind that contract and that fight's not going to happen. So do you think Dillian takes this fight? Surely he's got to take this fight.
I mean, you think surely he's got to take this fight. I would say that he's going to take the fight. My reading would be, and I don't have a clue, this is just a guess, but when you get that kind of level of silence, that's usually because they're silent under the instructions of someone legal, of a solicitor saying don't say anything. So they must be working on something. We know there was an arbitration, or I think there was an arbitration going on. I don't know, that's still ongoing. Yeah, well, that's still ongoing. You're
probably right with the legal thing.
Yeah. I would say it's a legal thing. I would say that you know, generally when a fighter's gone kind of dark and there's no comment, it's usually because that's under the instruction of a solicitor.
And the fight itself, how do you read it?
I think you've got to make Fury the favourite. You know, I think Fury's the favourite against anyone who fights. I think he's proven himself to be the #1 heavyweight in the world. He's the man. But Dillian's a credible and a legitimate mandatory challenger. You know, he's been waiting for a long, long time. He's beaten a lot of good guys. You know, those two wins. You know, the win with Chisora, the recent one. You know, the most recent Chisora win. The first one was close. You know, he deserves his shot. You know, he deserves his shot. Is he going to? Would I pick him to beat Fury? No, I wouldn't pick him to beat Fury. But I think if Fury doesn't turn up at the top of his game, I could see it being a banana skin. Do you know what I mean? Like Dillian's got this. I think he's deceiving. He's got that fast catch and counter left hook. So I think Fury wins. But I think if he takes his eye off the ball in any way, shape or form, if he underperforms, then I'm not so sure.
Okay, we shall find out very soon in the UK, hopefully, for that one. And my last question to you is, saw reports this morning that Dazn's takeover of BT Sport, which was due to happen, won't be happening. That's collapsed, and BT are doing a joint venture with Discovery in partnership with Eurosport. So obviously that has implications for BT Boxing and Queensberry and Frank Warren. So yeah, what did you make of them reports and that news?
Well, I think it only strengthens. You know, if Frank Warren's got a deal with BT Sport, I think it only strengthens his position, because if BT Sport are merging with, you know, Discovery and Eurosport, well, they're bringing more eyeballs to that channel, aren't they? So I think, you know, it's a good thing for Frank Warren. I don't know what that means for Eddie and Dazn. Time will tell, I suppose.
But it's a good situation. We've got Sky Sports with a great schedule. Obviously, Frank's got a strong stable on BT, and Eddie's got a strong stable on Dazn. So for the customer, it's a brilliant time to be a boxing fan.
Yeah, great time to be a boxing fan, although I suppose it depends, because some of them might feel like they're having to pay out left, right and centre. But, you know, money aside, there's lots of boxing on TV. I tell you who is great for, the fighters. It's great for the fighters, because it's a competitive market for the TV networks, it's a competitive market for the promoters, but it's driving the the price up for all the fighters. So from a fighter's point of view, it's an amazing time.
Matthew Macklin, great to get you back on the channel, and I'm sure we'll catch up in Cardiff again this week, all right?
Yep, cheers.